Update. My partner says I'm the problem, but his behavior is starting to feel like abuse. Am I insane for thinking this? Original post. My partner, 30 male, and I, 31 female, have been together for about a year and a half. I moved in with him a few months ago to save on rent and living expenses, and honestly, I'm starting to regret it. He's admitted he has anger issues and goes to therapy for it. He always says he's the only one putting effort into the relationship, but I'm starting to feel like I'm constantly walking on eggshells. Now that I'm in a better financial place, I've been looking into therapy myself. Not for anger, but for trauma I went through earlier this year. Here's the thing. He slams doors, even though I've told him it scares me, raises his voice, calls me names, and has broken up with me mid-argument just to prove a point. He's even woken me up by slamming doors when he's mad, and once drove recklessly with me in the car and experienced road rage. When I bring these things up, he'll say stuff like, "That never happened," or "When was the last time I did that?" as if I'm making it up. After social events, he picks apart how I acted or how I spoke. I already have social anxiety, and now I dread going out with him because I know he'll find something to be mad about afterward. Whenever I try to set a boundary or tell him I'm uncomfortable, he keeps pushing. I get frustrated, and then suddenly I'm the problem because I have an attitude. If I try to take space, like sleeping in the spare room after an argument, he'll throw my clothes and belongings in there and tell me to just stay there permanently. Then he'll switch gears and act all sad and depressed until I comfort him, like I'm the one who did something wrong. It's emotionally exhausting. He also gets jealous when I'm friendly with his male roommates or other people, even though I'm literally nice to everyone. One night, he accused me of deleting messages and cheating because he saw my phone reflection and thought I was hiding something. I was actually just messaging a friend that I felt unsafe and anxious while having a fight. He later tried sneaking into the spare room to go through my phone, then acted like he missed me just to get me back into bed. He tells me what I should or shouldn't do because he cares, but it feels more like he doesn't think I can handle life on my own, even though I'm very independent and have way more life experience than him. Another thing that really upsets me is he says mean, judgmental things about people in public. He calls it having a mean girl persona. Lately, he keeps saying I'm the problem and that I need to look deep within myself. He blames his outbursts on stress or mental health, takes minimal accountability, and things will change for a little bit until they go back to how they were. I leave arguments feeling confused, guilty, and like I have to apologize for things I didn't even do wrong. I know I'm not perfect, but this can't be normal, right? I don't ever act or treat him this way. The only reason I've stayed this long is because he can be sweet. He cooks, helps clean, is affectionate, and when he's in a good mood, things feel easy. But he's mostly in a bad mood and complains about everything that happens, even if it's a minor inconvenience, and it'll bring down his mood. But I'm pretty sure I'm falling out of love with him. Now that I'm more financially stable, I've told him I think we should live separately when the lease is up, because our constant fights are very stressful. But I know how that'll go. He'll guilt me, spam me with messages, and make it seem like I'm abandoning him. We were supposed to get our own place together, but at this point, I just don't know anymore. Does this sound like emotional abuse, or am I the problem? Would love some honest outside perspectives, please. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Does this sound like emotional abuse? Yes. How do you feel physically when he rages and drives aggressively and slams doors, etc.? Does your blood pressure go up? Does your chest feel tight? It's emotional abuse, but it's also physical as it's damaging. I get anxious when I know the tension is building up, even before anything happens. Girl, just leave. Silently. Pack and leave silently when he's not there. Or if it is impossible, have several friends and relatives with you when you are packing and leaving. With an abusive partner like him, it is a must. And I'd make hidden audio recordings of some of his outbursts. So when, not if, he starts love-bombing you, you can listen to them and remember. When you do leave OP, do not let him know that you're breaking up with him in person, because that is the most dangerous time in an abusive relationship. Because they are losing control over you and they will do anything to have that control. That is when you are statistically the most likely to be killed by your partner. The reason why I'm warning you about this is because it almost happened to me. He almost killed me. Thank you so much for this advice. He's not laid a hand on me yet, but there has been small signs that he could. He also admitted to me recently that in a past relationship he choked his ex in self-defense. My stomach and heart just dropped. He will either get angry or guilt trip me into staying. Now for the update weeks later. Firstly, I just want to thank everyone for their support and encouragement in my previous post. It means a lot, and anytime I started to doubt myself, I would read your comments. It helped me a lot. I left today. I left a letter and got the heck out of there, as I knew this was the safest and best option. I found a room to rent in a beautiful area and house, an all-female household, and funnily enough, my landlord is a social worker in DV, so she was incredibly accommodating and supportive throughout the process. I told people I trust at work about my plans, and they were also very supportive. I never thought I'd be someone who would enter into a relationship this bad. I've always been good at walking away from early signs in the past, but this person caught me at a time when I was lonely, struggling with mental health, and having financial issues. But there were early red flags I ignored, and I felt sorry for this person as he was good at guilt tripping. These were the signs. Love bombed. Pressured me to be his girlfriend when I wasn't sure yet. Said he would do anything to support me, and that he was there for me. Often the things he did for me were thrown in my face later when angry, and that I never did anything for him. Tried pressuring me to open a shared bank account and combine health insurance, and when I said no and didn't feel ready, I was avoidant and unaccepting of help or growing together as a couple. Gaslighting. Would say things didn't happen, or that I didn't say something when I did, especially around showing him affection. Would sulk and depression sleep when things weren't going his way until I caved, apologized, and gave him affection. Double standards. It was okay for him to treat me horribly, but if I even had a slight attitude or talked back, it wasn't okay. I had to talk in a cute or baby voice, which I hated, to avoid having an attitude, so it didn't start a fight. Slammed doors, threw things, slammed things, called me names, raised his voice, gave me dirty looks, and stormed around. He even did this in the middle of the night when I was trying to sleep and had work the next morning. Reckless driving and speeding with me in or outside the car when mad. This resulted in him getting pulled over by the cops one night. One night I was trying to comfort him and placed my arms around him when he was getting angry, and apparently I was being confrontational, so he shoved me. Insisted on going to public places or doctor's appointments with me to give support and help. Then complained about helping me. If I refused help, I was unwilling to accept help, and he felt useless. Would pick apart or start a fight after social interactions because of what I said or how I acted. I constantly felt anxious when hanging out with other people. Would take my belongings out of the shared room and throw them on the floor. It got to the point where he even hid the clean drinking water in his room so I couldn't access it. Would take back gifts and say I didn't deserve them when he was angry and that I didn't show him enough love. He even returned photos of me and threw out belongings we had together. Broke up with me mid-argument and threatened to kick me out. One time he broke up with me and I didn't respond or give him the reaction he wanted. He then said he was suicidal or not doing well. Guilt tripped me badly after his behavior, making his reaction seem justified because he was so hurt and sad. He would say he just wanted to be loved and talked about his childhood to make it seem okay. Would ask where I was or what I was doing when I was using his headphones. Tracking. If I didn't respond in a timely manner, he would get upset, even if I was busy. Would say nasty things about strangers and friends, and when I called him out, he got mad and said I was worse, which wasn't true at all. Would accuse me of cheating or make passive comments about it because I was private with my phone. I was private because I was contacting friends and searching signs of emotional abuse, trying to convince myself I wasn't crazy. I would have panic attacks that often resulted in me vomiting. One time he completely ignored it and started playing loud music so he didn't have to listen. But if I didn't give him help or attention when he wasn't feeling well, I was an awful girlfriend and selfish. If I tried standing up for myself or used logic in an argument, he said he didn't like my tone or that I was being condescending. He even pulled out his phone once to try to prove I was being condescending or defensive when I was just asking why he was upset. Would nitpick, judge, pick on me, make passive-aggressive comments, or tell me what to do. If I defended myself or set boundaries, that was thrown in my face too. When I tried putting my needs first, such as taking space or needing time alone, I was neglectful, and it was always about my needs. Unrealistic expectations, demanding love and attention constantly, including telling me to stop working so much, or getting angry when I picked up extra shifts to save money because I should have enough money by now. Meanwhile, he worked 6 to 7 days a week and still went to the gym and on social outings. He even openly admitted he was emotionally abusive in his last relationship and choked his last partner to protect himself. I don't know how true that version is, but I know for a fact he choked her and got physical with her in a rage. There are also rumors about this. So I say, if your partner shows even one of these signs, get the heck out. It's not worth your mental, physical, or emotional health. Don't wait around for them to physically hurt you, because once they do, you'll be in too deep and it'll be harder to leave. I'm grateful I got out when I did, because we lived with roommates, and I cannot imagine how much worse it would have been if we got our own place together. Thanks again for all the support. I've got a long road of therapy, healing, and returning to the woman I used to be, but it's well worth it. I just hope he leaves me the heck alone. Stay safe, everyone. So glad to hear you got out. It's crazy when you add up all the things that happened over the span of the relationship. Sadly, taken individually, most of these incidents would elicit a "you need to communicate better" response or something. Please stay safe and go completely no contact. You have no reason to communicate again, and all he will try to do is gaslight you to get you to come back. Don't even allow him to try. Thank you so much. That's exactly what would happen, even though I would make effort and try to de-escalate the situation. He's blocked and out of my life now. My ex told me he strangled his ex in self-defense too, and I believed him. Then he did it to me. Then he strangled me 2 more times and tried to hit me over the head with our kitchen chair twice. Then knocked me over when I was pregnant, abused me emotionally daily by screaming and picking arguments, and I gave birth prematurely and was at risk for a stroke even after delivery. You made the right choice to leave him. I am sorry to hear this. I'm sorry this happened. I hope life is 1,000 times better without him. I hope your baby and yourself are safe now and far away from that monster. Studies have shown that if someone tries to strangle or choke their partner, they are 6 to 7 times more likely to kill them. It's got a high chance of ending in murder. It's a really bad sign. I'm so glad you and OP are away from them now. I read this statistic after the fact. After he pushed me and I went to the hospital and the incident was documented, he kept his hands off me. But I sincerely think he was trying to kill me without leaving a mark. I don't see what other end goal there is from screaming at a pregnant woman every day. Last story. I think I nuked my relationship with my boyfriend by drawing a hard line. My boyfriend, 32 male, and I, 32 female, have been together for nearly 2 years, living together for 1. He had purchased his house prior to us dating, and I was renting an apartment, so it made sense for me to move into his house. He continued to pay the mortgage, and I took on all of the usage bills, all of the utilities and annual maintenance, as well as the grocery shopping. And we felt that it was a fair split. As our anniversary is coming up, we've been talking about our future timelines and where we see our relationship progressing. We're on the same page with all the big ideas. We know we want to marry each other and start a family following that. But to be in a position to start a family, the house is going to need a lot of renovations. And we've always thrown around the idea that the cost of renos would be my buy-in, so to speak, on the house. From our estimates, everything we would want to do would be around $100,000 at the low end. We even agreed that we could draw up some kind of agreement to protect both of our interests financially. As it's gotten closer to the reality of reaching out to contractors and banks, I've felt more and more unsettled about the situation. I feel confident in our relationship, but foolish making an investment in a boyfriend's asset. I told him that I would like to be engaged before starting this process, so I feel like he's making a commitment to me, as much as I am. We've talked about being engaged prior to this, but he said adding this element makes it feel very transactional and takes away the romance and sparkle of it all. I didn't tell him I wanted to be engaged by a specific date or anything like that. Just that if this renovation is what we want to pursue, this is the action I'd like to take beforehand. He seemed upset by my statement, and I feel like I've really taken some of the romance and surprise out of the idea of a proposal or being engaged. The morning after this conversation was cold and tense, and I can't help but feel like I've done irreparable damage. But I don't feel wrong in making the request. Am I being reasonable? Is this recoverable? Forget engaged. Don't do this unless you're married and on the deed. This OP. People can always break engagements, but it's harder to break a deed. Do not put a penny of your money if you're not on that deed. You'll be screwing yourself. This is the answer. He has everything to gain. She has everything to lose. This setup is incredibly lopsided. Lol, what? He wants thousands of dollars without deed and legal transactions? I would not put any money without my name on the house. My bestie put about $45,000 of her own money into the family home her boyfriend was taking care of. He ended up cheating on her multiple times when she was out of town, played the victim, and lied to all of their friends about why she was leaving him, and told everyone she was lying about the money when she asked for some of it back during the breakup. OP, protect yourself before investing in something you don't own. Your boyfriend should want what's best for your situation. If he doesn't see why your finances are worth protecting from risk, he's either kind of stupid or doesn't see you as his equal. I know a single mom who was dating a guy that convinced her to sell her house, then invest the money she made from the sale into renovating his house. Her name was not on the deed. Less than a year later, they got in a fight. She came home from work with her daughter the next day. The locks had been changed, and her daughter were stuck living in hotels for a few months while she saved enough money for a deposit on an apartment. The over $120,000 she invested in his house was considered a gift, and there is no legal recourse for her to get this money back. Do not contribute any money towards his house without your name on the deed, OP.